love to pass. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And some room to work. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. A huge play there right off the bat.
This is what made the West Coast offense a staple around the NFL in the 80s and 90s. You don't have to push the ball deep downfield to come up with big plays, and there's an example of that right there.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones, and he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. This Washington defense, Charles, terrific in the victory a week ago.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
Our game not even 2 minutes old, but a quick red zone opportunity. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16. Now they'll run it on the toss. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They've taken this opening kickoff and marched it right down the field defensively. Not much resistance.
And that's the point, because my admiration is for the guys moving the ball right now. They know what they're doing. Their plan is working. But I flip it over and watch and say, okay, what are you going to do to change things up? Because if you don't, they're going to put that ball in the end zone real soon.
And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
2nd down and goal. Love. And it's a Packers touchdown. It's the fullback. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Packers take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Right after the touchdown to extend their lead, now maybe opening the door a little bit there by allowing starting field position at the 40. A good starting spot for Washington as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. A handoff running left is Gibson. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural deal based on reads. In college, if you're going to throw the football for triple option, you've actually called that play. Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Off play action. Vernon. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 34-yard line. So a first catch for him in the ball game. And you know the scuttlebutt has been he's not getting enough touches, enough catches, not feeling involved enough in the offense. So maybe that can get him going.
You and I both know that there's not a wide receiver alive that ever feels like in any game he got enough touches, even if he got 15, right? We all know that. But there's also not an offensive coordinator alive, a play caller, that isn't smart enough to get the ball to them and often that will keep his position.
So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
They'll run. It's Gibson. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of 6, and it'll set him back for second down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So a nightmare start to the drive as they're already staring at second and long. Off the play fake. Vernon. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
You definitely would have liked to have hit on that one because now you've got a third and long showing up, and you just know defense is going to be getting after it. They are pinning their ears back, and they are coming.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And the Packers are going to get the football here at their own 23. Well, really not much secret there. Third and long, Charles, that he was looking to throw the football. And I would imagine as a defender, you're kind of salivating in that spot, right?
You certainly are, because third and long situations, they tip the scale towards the defense every single time. Now you're actually able to dictate.
And he is going to go down. They sack him on the final play of the first quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second and 20. Another try after the first down sack. Love. And he finds a man on the crossing route. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
Love with it here, third and short yardage. And this is going to be incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. Spinning away. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard. Off play action. Vernon. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Washington going to send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Fielded at the 20. Now it appears we're going to get whistles and a stop. A man down on the return. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. 3-2 their record through the first 5 games of the year as they got the victory last week. It's still early, just October, but what have you seen from these guys so far?
Well, what I've seen is a team that's still figuring out all their pieces because they've got some new faces from a year ago, add in some new draft picks. Sometimes it takes a month or so before you really start to gel as a team and for those players to figure out their roles. But right now, I see them starting to elevate.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Love looking to throw it. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. On play action, Love to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And he'll get it down here to the 43.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Now they'll run it on the toss.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
2nd and 8. Throwing. Love. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
Well, sometimes despite the best planning, the defense actually has a plan as well, and they blanketed everyone on that play. They were able to close it down and spill in for a loss.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Now Love. He's going to wind up and air it out. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And this will be blown dead right around the 25-yard line. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
Now we've got whistles here before the snap, and I believe this is going to be on Washington. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Back to throw. Vernon. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Looking to throw. Vernon, flush to his right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Off the play fake. Vernon. And pressure coming, and they got him once again.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play action sack. Just a 30-yard punt that time. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And with great starting field position and a couple of timeouts at their disposal, they'll certainly have the green light here. He sets up the screen to Jones. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 1st half. Second and 7. Working out of the gun. Love. And a quick throw here. That's complete. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. First down, going to the air with Love. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the 1st half. So that time the pressure got home just as he was releasing the football and caused the pick.
And what it did was it disrupted that fragile balance
of the mechanics of throwing the football. You know, from the footwork to being able to actually throw it downfield. If one piece of that puzzle gets disrupted, it affects the entire chance of success.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set him back on second. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. More now on the return. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. It's been a tight game to this point. What do they need to do, Charles, to break through in the second half and take the lead?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is thank their defense for keeping them in this.
There he goes, left side.
They ain't ready for us.
And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Now Gibson. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
On second down, here's Gibson again. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have to contend with a 3rd and 13. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Vernon. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
So holding there on the return, and that'll back them up to start the next drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there, partner. I think when the officials look in their manual and see the expression jersey getting pulled, that's a flag coming out every time.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Love going to give this one to Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Play fake. Here's Love. And a throw right sideline is complete. And he's brought down.
Oh, a lot of credit to the play caller here. He saw the design in his mind and implemented it. A little zone stretcher here because they started the tight end on the left side of the formation and sent him on a crossing route. And this works really well when you can find that space between levels, and they were able to do so for good yardage.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On second down, it's Jones. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. To throw now, here's Love. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Well, he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. A give to Jones. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. To pass, here's Jordan Love. He's got his man on the crossing route. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Then we got to give a little tip of the cap for the defense there. Zone coverage, locked it in tight, made it really difficult because they tried the crossing route against it, and it worked for a completion, but you have to know where the sticks are on 3rd down. Didn't get beyond them, no pickup.
And this is not going to be anywhere close. No good, way wide to the left.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. They'll start on the ground with Gibson. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Back to throw. Vernon. Got a man, it's Gibson complete. It's a 1st down and more for Gibson. And gets it across the 50 and down to the 48.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away, and they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Off play action. Vernon. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Picked off by J.C. Horn. And the Packers are going to take over here up near the 40. Scoring has really been at a premium. And, Charles, you got to tip your cap to this defense coming in here. Their offense, too, but this whole team coming in here on the road, getting a hard-fought win.
I think the way that they're finishing this one up an exclamation point on a terrific game. As you noted, hard for them to put points on the board, and they hold them down one more time and finalize things.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Following the interception, Love sliding out of the pocket. And this one is incomplete.
I'm looking at this one with my defensive eyeglasses on because you remember the old days when a tight end saw a linebacker covering him and thought he had a mismatch? But the way they can run nowadays, not necessarily so. They gave it a shot downfield. That one incomplete.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. The give is to Jones. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. The Packers on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. Love. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Jones. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Quinn Miners, 3rd-round pick in 2021, called for the penalty. So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Now whistles here, flag down. I think one of the Packer linemen was moving. Every penalty so critical at this stage of the game as now they've got it 3rd and long. Love from the gun. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Vernon steps away to his left. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Off the play fake. Vernon. He'll buy some time right. And that will be incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Right now clinging to a one-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. And Jones with a nice burst there on 1st down as he'll be taken down, but not before a gain of 7 yards. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. He ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Again, it's Jones. 44 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now whistles here, flag down. I think one of the Packer linemen was moving. The false start hurts him there a bit. Backs him up to 2nd and 9. Now a handoff as they run left side. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd.
I know we're in the era of wide open football, a lot of spread formations, more space. But there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. And this is caught, and that could seal it. It's a touchdown. kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fields this way up at the 17. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. Throwing on first down. Vernon. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. Now Justin Tucker. He has hit from 61 in his career, so he has the leg for this. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this...
You guys are nails out there.
So for Green Bay,